Well, they charged me with possession. So they said I had a choice. I could either be a felon or I could do drug court. And I was like, well, okay, I'll try this program. So I started drug court, and it's a good program. I learned a lot. I went to all the classes, I did all the homework, and I wanted to get better. I didn't want that anymore. I didn't want the fear. I didn't want the mess. I didn't want the ups and downs. So yeah, I went to rehab, and I thought it was extremely interesting, and I enjoyed the lessons, and I liked the things I was learning, and I liked the process groups. I liked the rehab. I liked the therapy. I liked learning about myself. I wanted to dig. I wanted to get called on. I wanted them to dig in me, help me find out what was going on. So I did the homework, and I went to the meetings, and I did everything they asked me to do, and I talked in class, and I still wanted to use drugs, and I didn't get better, and I didn't know why, and I thought, well, I'll just keep going, I'll just keep trying, and I'd get in trouble, and I'd get in trouble, and I'd get caught, and I'd go to jail, and I'd go to jail, and I'd go to jail. In 1 year, I got 9 dirty drug tests, and did 9 stays in jail before they kicked me out.
Of the drug court program.
Of the drug court program.
And at that point, you're vulnerable to
the charges.
Yeah, okay.
I ended up doing 3.5 months in the county jail for that, and it was unbearable. Jail was so hard. It was awful. You're cut off from anybody that loves you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's no intelligent conversation. There's bickering. It's just stupidity, and it's awful. It's gross. I exercised. I ran back and forth wherever I could. I had to get it out of me. That was the first time I ran to get the emotion out. The first time that I ran to get the anger out. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I'm crying about that.
You don't know why you're crying?
Well,
I think we all know why you're crying.
Well, I mean, I'm surprised that it was the running that
brought it out.
That brought it out. But I think I'm like shaking here talking about this. It brings up so much anxiety in me just to talk about the meth use and that mess.
But the running was cathartic then.
Oh, extremely. And I ran, and I got headphones, and I would run every day.
I kind of have the impression from the way you reacted there emotionally that the running was like a really big discovery for you.
Yeah. It was and is. It's the only antidepressant that's ever worked for me. And so, yeah, and then I did the OUT program. And the therapist there, his name was Val, and he's the most Christ-like person I've ever met in my life. He was so insightful and so loving and so understanding, yet very blunt and very straightforward. And he said one day, he talked about, how we believed that we were sick. We believed there was something wrong with us by this point. And I mean, the whole world's telling you, go to jail, there's something wrong with you. You can't behave this way. So we believe it. I'm sick, I'm broken. And I believe very much at that point that I was a broken person. And he stood in front of me and he said, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. You are not broken. You can do anything you want. And it sounds very simple, but to me, I had never tried believing that. I had never tried thinking of myself that way. And it was so refreshing. And I felt so lifted just trying that thought out, just trying it on for size. I'm not broken. And it felt so good. And I started believing that. So that was the beginning of me, I think, starting to believe, that I was this person that I wanted to be. I could be that person. I didn't have to be broken. I didn't have to hurt. And he talked about just a lot of really big ideas for me. The world says if you hurt this bad, you get this much room. If you're hurt this bad, we understand this much. If you're hurt that bad, well, then obviously, so it doesn't have to be that way. So very eye-opening, very freeing for me.